It looks good. I'm thin. Yoink.
Hey, you dorks, this is Gunnar Hansen, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you are listening to The Dorkening.
Hi, I'm Brian Johnson, and although you probably accidentally stumbled across it and have no idea why you're watching it, you are in fact watching The Dorkening.
Hello, this is Tom Kenny, voice actor. The voice of the Ice King on Adventure Time. And SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah, meow. Oh, Gary the Snail, too. Hey, guess what you're filling your eye holes and ear holes with? The Dorkening! Oh, I love the Dorkening. Very popular in Ooh. And Bikini Bottom.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You're watching The Dorkening. And you know what? You don't like me when I get angry, so don't get me angry. You better keep watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, this is Felissa Rose, and you're watching The Dorkening.
Hey guys, it's Courtney Palm. We're shooting Death House, and you're watching The Dorkening.
This is Anthony Michael Hall, and you're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned. My friend's going to show you what entertainment's all about, baby.
The Dorkening.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Rise and shine, my sinners. When Father Evil starts his day, he gets a little deadly. Deadly Grounds coffee has the richest, smoothest flavor you'll find anywhere. It's sinfully delicious. Once you go deadly, you never go back. Order yours at getdeadly.com. Coffee's so good, it's scary.
Hey, happy Monday, everybody. We have an awesome show scheduled for you on Creator Spotlight. And as always, the most wonderful Patsy. How's it going, my friend?
It's going all right. The Bruins keep giving up power play goals, and it's starting to piss me off. But you know what? I think they're going to come back. And I think they're going to win because Ashes just got home, so that's going to be some good luck too. I hope.
Bruins. That's soccer, right?
That's hockey. That's hockey. Definitely not soccer. Although guys do get socked here and there.
They lose a few teeth.
Oh yeah, chiclets all over the ice.
Nice. And the equally wonderful Phil from Dark Discussions Podcast. How's it going, my friend?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm not multitasking like PJ is, but our guest tonight, if you're a horror fan and a wrestling fan, so sports, it's got it all in his new movie. So it'll be fun talking about.
Oh, totally. And he's always a blast to talk to. Who are we talking about tonight, Patsy?
Well, this week on Creator Spotlight, we are talking to horror aficionado and filmmaker, Mr. James Balsamo. James, how you doing today?
Hey, everybody, live on the Dorkening. Super excited to be here. Leo, you pucked up on that hockey reference, but that's okay. It's going to be nothing but net tonight.
We know you're the king of puns, James. So it's I didn't want to even try tonight.
Well, maybe the
very ice compliment. Very ice.
Just stick with what you know there, Leo.
It ain't much. So we're talking about It Wants Blood, which is available on VOD right now. There is a link in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And
oh God, It Wants Blood. There it is.
Is that you got the whole beast? Oh, that's the
I don't know if the whole one would fit in there.
So who did the creature creation in this?
So this is sculpted by Joe Castro. Alaric Barca and I did the concept art, and then Joe sculpted these giant beasts. And then the stop animation is done by Richard Svensson, who's also known as the Lone Animator, and he's in Sweden. So we've got some international artists working on this fun monster movie.
Yeah, the monsters were cool, and the stop motion. I mean, it's haven't seen stuff like that in a while, and it's definitely love it.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
the Ray Harryhausen stuff.
Exactly.
Great stuff.
Yeah, a lot of mixed mediums, because you got the obviously you have the live action, you have a lot of animation that was definitely reminiscent of, to me anyways, the Dumbo scene at the end of the movie when he's absolutely drunk and you got all the pink elephants.
You got it.
And then stop animation.
And don't forget the no CGI blood. I mean, that's awesome.
A lot of blood.
Yeah, but no CGI blood. It's the good stuff. He used good stuff. Yes.
So, how many movies is this now? Is this like, what are you up to, like 30 something?
30, yeah. We're pushing 30 now.
And that's not including films that you've acted in, such as Mills vs. Zombies. This is just the ones that you've actually produced and directed?
Correct. So, yeah, I've been in over 60 films and TV shows and stuff like that, but I've produced just about 30.
That's awesome. Wolfie says, "Hey James, the creature looks cool. Still waiting on a skateboarding werewolf movie, and we actually do have the trailer. I'm going to play it real quick, so we give everybody a taste. It Wants Blood out on VOD right now. Are you going to have physical media?
Yeah, it'll be in stores this summer.
Very
cool. Leo, is this the red trailer or the green trailer?
The red band.
Yeah, the red band.
Which is it, James?
I believe this is the green band trailer.
Here we go.
I've called you here today to hear a story.
You must give up something you love.
Oh. That's why we're here today. To feed and praise our God. This is my God. This is your hell.
It does not want more. It wants blood.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get in touch with somebody like Ola Ray? Because it's like, wow, I haven't seen her in so long.
So she had the same manager as Eric Roberts, and so through the magic of Film Family, we brought in Ola Ray, and she's also in that Charles Bronson movie. She's in some great stuff. She was wonderful to work with.
Yeah, I liked her in this. I thought everybody was definitely fit their parts very well.
Mm-hmm.
Now, James, I noticed your trailer listed some of the people that were in the film, but there's some other folks too that weren't listed that are in the film. Who are they? Could you let us know, or let the listeners know?
You might know her as Lita from the WWE, aka Lady Dumas, Lita Dumas, Amy Dumas. What's wrong with me? Jesus! Sorry, I had a seizure on camera there.
Yeah, she was fun in that. I like how you kind of instead of having her have a wrestling background, she's got the kickboxing background where it's very obvious that she's killed someone during a fight.
Definitely.
Well, one of the things, with your movies, you definitely feel a lot of the fun, in making them. And is it that much fun, creating them? I know you're doing like movie after movie after movie, and just it's not a chore for you anymore, right? It's just
it never was. It was always a passion for me. It's all I ever really wanted to do in life was be in horror movies, and here we are, years later. Sorry, I live in a zoo. I can't do anything. My dog gets very upset. So.
What kind of doggy?
He's a Shorkie. It's a Shih Tzu Yorkie. His name is Alf.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I got an Alf right there.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Nigel's asking, how long does it take to make one movie?
For me, it depends. I could make a movie in a month, or I can make a movie in 3 months. In that timeline.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, for this one here, because of the special effects, the monster creature, and all that other stuff, this one must have been a little longer, or probably closer to the 3 months. Would I be right to say that?
Yeah, it was. And then we sat on it a little bit because of COVID. So the movie was actually finished a year ago, and it just had one monster, and it just had the Nadoto, which is the elephant giant creature. And then, the movie was going to be released theatrically all over the country, and we were going to do, drive-ins, but COVID kind of destroyed that. So then Kong and Godzilla came out, and I had the idea, what if it fights another monster? And so then we created this whole other monster. Bill Victor Arukin came in, and he played that whole other role of Eric Roberts opposing political, primate. Yeah, that's the word. Just
like
around.
I was gonna say I like the inclusion of the punchline to that joke that you never hear the whole thing of, and then the monkey took the picture.
So that's a running joke throughout several of my films. That you want to know the real story of that joke? So. National Geographic took a picture that a monkey took a selfie, and the guy was trying to sue National Geographic for using his photograph, but National Geographic said it's not your picture. The monkey took the picture, and so that's how he had no right to claim the photo because of fancy lawyers and all that stuff. And thus the joke is the monkey took the picture.
That's pretty cool. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the big set piece, the wrestling match. Is that going to be an extended version of that as an extra on the disc? And how did that go about? And where did you come up with that great idea?
You just want to see more boobs.
What? I'm talking about
nothing wrong with that, but
He was talking about the riveting political discourse that was going on outside the ring.
Okay.
That's right. Between the priest and James and the third party.
Yeah.
So
I just have to say that priest breaking down at that match was hilarious. I
Oh
absolutely.
yeah,
Sorry,
Larry
sorry.
Butler, he's an incredible actor. So it's funny you ask, Philip. I have a film called Sexy Time where it's got the breast clips from my movies, and so Sexy Time 2 will have the extended wrestling match as well as several other naughty knocker scenes.
Now, when it comes to the creature design, like where did you come up with this? Because the second creature, what's his name? The second guy there, Lita's husband.
Yeah.
Reminded me a lot of like the Anunnaki type design, from like Iran, couple thousand years BC.
Mm-hmm.
So Pazuzu.
Yeah,
So
in that vein.
So they're actually both based off of real cryptic zoology creatures. The Nadoto is a creature called the Grootslang, which is an elephant and a snake, and it's based off of an African legend. And then the Zowazo is based on the Piazza bird, and that's a Mississippi legend. There's like a famous scribbling on the wall of this kind of like troll head with a bird body. And then Zowazo is Creole for bird, and Nadoto is Swahili for nightmare. So at least that's what Google Translate says.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I was just curious as to where the creatures came from, because I really, really like the creature design for that, because you have the elephant face, but then you have like the mouth that's up above it.
Yeah,
that was like a
that you're welcome. The vagina mouth is on.
Yeah, that's what it was. Right, you said it. Yeah. Now, one of our listeners, Wolfie, has a question. What is it like working with Eric Roberts and Ola Ray?
Oh, they were great. So sweet and easy to work with. And Eric Roberts is a trooper. He's just down for, whatever. You're like, okay, you're going to be in a scene with a decapitated head. He's like, okay, all right, I'm in. That's what's great about him. Easy. And
he's
Ola Ray
a
was,
pro.
he was really sweet.
Right, that's good. Now, Eric Roberts has done a number of small independent films recently, and usually, but a lot of those films.
You're underselling it. Eric Roberts is in 9 million movies, but stars in It Wants Blood. So let's spin it that way.
But my question is in most of those indie films, he only has cameos. But in your film, he was like the lead. How did you get that? That's a pretty impressive Academy Award nominated actor related to Academy Award winner.
Well, you know what's funny? I've been making movies for a long time, and I usually put a lot of big names in my films, but I put them in quickly. So I've had a lot of people over the years tell me, it doesn't really count. They're only in the movie for a brief minute. So booking Eric Roberts to star in It Wants Blood was kind of my aha to all of those naysayers. So now people could say whatever you want, but Eric Roberts, like you said, stars in this movie. Here's my finger wagging this finger.
For your next movie, do you have some other large actor that you're going to try to get?
I have insane cameos. So I'm doing a kids movie. It's called Alien Danger with Raven Van Slender. It's got Tommy Chong in it and Rob Halford from Judas Priest. So I finished that. It's also got several cameos from Star Trek in it. Sirach Lofton, Brian Bonsall, who played Worf's son, and the Gorn himself, Bobby Clark, is in it. And then I'm doing the sequel to that, which Rob Halford comes back for, as well as Doug Bradley does the voice of the lead villain, General Legs. And so we're shooting that in like 2 weeks.
Very nice.
All right. Now, I got a question for you about wrestling, because obviously a lot of people who follow horror are big fans of wrestling. And on my network, we have wrestling podcasts as well as horrors, and you combined it together with bringing in a famous wrestler, plus you had wrestling set piece and stuff. What's your opinion of horror and wrestling, and why people who love both, when you would think they would be independent of each other, and you put it together so it would get everybody that likes both to want to see your film?
So I think it's about escapism in entertainment. So like for me, Christopher Nolan ruined escapism, right? It's like you can't have this fun character do the Batusi anymore. You have to have drama and seriousness. So wrestling fans believe in the absurd, right? They can watch two overgrown, muscle-bound monsters wear Speedos and then face paint and then hug each other and then jump off a top rope. I was a huge wrestling fan since I was a little kid, still am. You know what I mean? And I buy the fantasy of it. I like the escapism. And I think horror is very similar. The same way you could see a rubber creature and then the zippers open, but you're like, oh no, that's a beast from beyond the moon. I feel that in my body. Like, run, woman, run, topless woman. Don't get decapitated, but get decapitated by this moon beast with the zipper hanging open. You know what I mean? I just think it's about believing in that escapism and joy. I think wrestling fans and horror fans have a joy that most Christopher Nolan Batman fans don't have anymore. And naysayers that say, oh, you can't jump off a 50-foot building and land without broken ankles. You can't do that.
Well, speaking of which, Nolan used Eric Roberts to prove exactly the opposite of that point in the second Batman movie.
That's true.
Dropped him. This won't even kill me. I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
That's right.
You get it.
Let's talk a little bit about your marketing and also your. We talked about your passion for filmmaking, but you're doing one thing that a lot of indie filmmakers struggle to do is you're making a living producing movies and doing what you love. Where a lot of indie filmmakers, even one, especially ones just starting out, they're working 2 jobs during the day and then at night they're doing guerrilla filmmaking. I know it's hard to pin down, but what are a couple tips, or what do you think the secret is to becoming a full-time, making a living at filmmaking?
You know what? It depends on what you want to do. If you want to make a movie and you want to make money, there is a formula to it, especially from a B side. If you want to make a movie and you want to say, hey, look, I made a movie, it's in Walmart or Best Buy, and you want to sell it to a distributor, then that's easy. You know what I mean? I say it's like Field of Dreams. If you make it, someone will watch it, someone will pick it up. And it's really about the poster and who's in the movie from a business standpoint. And nudity. Nudity is a big seller. I mean, if you're going to make a low budget B horror or an indie movie, you got to have the 3 Bs. Everybody knows Don Dohler's 3 Bs. Blood, boobs, and beast. You got to have them. It's the best thing you can have to make $1. Now, if you don't want to make money and you want to make an art film about a flower or an avocado shot on 16 millimeter in black and white, make the movie, and somebody is going to say, this is great. I'm going to put a beautiful cover on this and sell it for you, and you'll never see $1. Or you might. It might become the greatest thing. I mean, you could shoot the whole thing underwater in a fish tank and somebody thinks it's brilliant. That's it. You get one celebrity to endorse it. Like Evil Dead was endorsed by Stephen King. A lot of people don't know that. That's what put that movie over the top. Stephen King gave the green light and said, Evil Dead, it's great. And that was it. They ran with that. And they were like, look, Stephen King, who's a reputable person in horror, likes this movie. And that was it. And, it's all about marketing. You got to tell people it exists for people to watch it.
And you talk about the whole poster thing. I can't remember the director's name, but he came on and he sold his movie to it was going up on Redbox and everything. And I remember him complaining that how they drew the poster had nothing to do with his movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was seen from I don't know if it was some other movie or something, but you know, it does help sell the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean, I got my start at Trauma, and they would buy movies. You know what I mean? They would acquire films from people around the world, and then they would take photos at the studio and put a new cover on it. I mean, tons of distribution companies do that. So, like I said, if you want to own everything and make $1, get a celebrity, get some nudity, have a fun poster. That is the formula. And I've been doing that for 15 years, and it works okay for me. I got no complaints.
That's awesome.
Now, I got a question for you, James. Pat and myself mentioned that we met you originally at a horror convention with COVID, and you mentioned how it pushed back your film here. I know you into marketing, love going to conventions and talking to the fans and all that great stuff. How has that affected you since last March? Because you haven't been able to do that, and now only recently, I guess some conventions are coming, and who knows how they'll work out. But how was it for you for this past 16 months or so?
I mean, I can't complain because I produced a few more features. You know what I mean? Like I took projects on so I didn't have to tour. I love touring, and it was really a passion of mine running around the country. I was doing 2 shows a month around the country right before COVID hit. So I was working, you know what I mean? But once I knew that I couldn't travel, I found another way, and that was producing films that other people started. So, you know, it's cool.
Is Acid Bath trying to be like a Trauma, you think? You trying to make it big like that?
You know what? I never wanted to be a Trauma. Trauma's its own thing. I always wanted Acid Bath to be its own thing. That's why I make my own films. I know Trauma, Lloyd does a few films with Michael Hers every few years, but they do acquire a lot more of their catalog from other filmmakers. I never really wanted that. I mean, I'm technically a distributor now, which is incredible, and that's why I'm able to put out so many great movies. So if somebody wants to make a movie with me, I'm happy to produce or work on something. But I do it for me because I'm self-indulgent, and I like seeing my own face on posters.
Speaking of Trauma, and you know, this is going back to, you did wear the Toxie suit at one time, correct?
Several times. So yeah, I played the Toxic Avenger in like 6 DVD intros, and then I did a promo with them with Tiffany Shepis a few years later. I think it was at a Rock and Shock actually, and Lloyd's still in a few of my movies, and I got a good relationship with Trauma. It's cool. Lloyd actually wears the Hack Job T-shirt, which is my first film, in the new Nukem High behind the scenes. He's like directing in a Hack Job T-shirt, so
nice.
That's pretty cool.
But what do you feel about Toxie being brought up to the limelight, being remade?
You know what? It's been in development hell for years. I can't wait. I hope they do finally get it off the ground. I'm excited for it. Peter Dinklage, and now that what's his name, Frodo's in it, I think it'll finally get made.
Elijah Wood, yeah.
Okay. Elijah Wood's been producing a lot of great horror films because he really does have a passion for it. I don't know if you ever heard him say Tim Ritter's Truth or Dare is like one of his favorite movies, and Tim Ritter's actually in a few of my films, so it was really cool to hear him say that. So I think he's like a genuine horror fan, and if he's actually attached, we'll probably see this new Toxic Avenger, and I can't wait to see it.
Cool.
So I have a question about Eric Roberts' mansion in this film, because it has to be phenomenally massive, like on Bruce Wayne levels for the when it comes to the wine cellar. Is there like a backstory that you guys came up with for that, or is this just like, you know, just something that, you know, no one's ever going to find out about?
The wine cellar?
Yeah, because of how, like, you call it the wine cellar, but it looks, it's so huge. Like that's what I'm saying, like Bruce Wayne level proportions for the basement. Like, this has to be something that was in development for a while. Like, I would want to see the backstory to that, like how this place got built in order to house such a creature, and how it can be so clandestine because there's lots of skeletons down there. Like I thought that was a very good touch. I liked that part of the movie. Like, oh yeah, head down to the wine cellar.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Yeah, it was a big house we rented. It was right across from the mayor's house, the actual mayor of Los Angeles. So it was what was it? A historic building, right? It was a historic.
That's pretty awesome.
I believe it. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was overshadowed though, Patsy, from the wrestling match, right? Because that was like right before that the scene, So
Well,
everybody
there were a lot of scenes in the wine cellar.
Oh yeah, you had so many people visiting it. You had I forgot the guy's name. The wife that he cheated or she cheated on with you. He needed to bring her to the wine cellar, and
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, a lot of people met their fate.
Yeah.
Right.
It was great.
Right. Yeah, indeed. Now, when Lady Jezebel or Miss Jezebel, I don't want to spoil it, but meets the creature basically. Well, where was that? Was that also the same house across from the mayor's?
No, it was in my backyard actually. My house.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, that creature took 3 people to operate it. So somebody was in the head, and then my girlfriend was on one of the arms, and then there was another puppeteer on the other side. And so, 3 people with the head on the loose jaw. It was fun. And then I think we went through 5 gallons of blood for that shot.
Yeah, speaking of the blood, what do you use for blood? A lot of you were okay. A lot of indie filmmakers will see your film and say that looks awesome, but how do I do it?
This is my blood recipe that was passed down by another effects artist to me. It really cuts out a lot of the stickiness because there's no Caro syrup in it. It is very simple. It's chocolate syrup, red food coloring, and just a dot of blue food coloring, and that's it. Little food coloring. That's it. Done. He's done.
It does have like that nice, thick, well oxygenated look to it.
It does. So I talked to a doctor about blood color. So if it comes out of an arterial vein, that's what makes it light because of the oxygen that gets to it. So if it's from like a deeper cavity, like a claw wound, it will be that darker blood because it's just kind of pooling inside of the person.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was the easiest and the most difficult scenes?
You know what? The whole thing was really fun and easy. It was honestly only 8 days of filming. We did 4 days with Eric, and then the rest was with Bill and Lita. So, really easy shoot. I've kind of boiled filmmaking down to a science. That's how I've been able to crank out 30 movies. So nothing was really hard. The only thing that was physically labor enduring was the puppet fight. I was holding the head of the Nadoto while we have this other giant, massive puppet head banging into the other one. And then Bill Victor Arukin was under me with the snake arm. He had the snake. And so I'm holding the elephant and the snake and, but it was fun. It was fun. But it was a workout on my forearms, let me tell you.
I was going to say, I don't think people realize how difficult puppeteering can be until they try and do it.
Oh, yeah. It's very strenuous on the body. And it's like, what was great is that we had a monitor on set, so I could see everything, like where it was in frame. So it was like, oh, okay, we got to lower the arm. I've got a gripe with a lot of modern horror films touched up like Ghoulies. I don't know if you've seen the restoration of Ghoulies, but they color corrected it where you see the forearms of all the puppeteers because when it was shot, it was in shadow, but now they bumped up all the color. You see the full arm of the puppeteer. So it's a funny thing, puppeteering.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Oh, go on. Now, I was curious. You used to work for Troma, used to be a filmmaker out of the greater New York area, and now you're on the West Coast. Would you have been able to get this film done had you not moved to the West Coast?
Yeah, I mean, I had made like 15 movies before I came to LA, so I'm sure I would have. It would have been a different film, though, for sure, if it was shot on the East Coast. So LA is funny to make a movie in. It's like a lot of talking about it. You know what I mean? Everybody's got to get paid. And when you make an indie movie in New York, a lot of people are like, wow, I've never been asked to be in a movie. Sure, you could use my location. Yeah, come on down. Like, we got a restaurant. You could film in that. LA, it's a different case. You know what I mean? You got to like get permits and talk to everybody and bribe everybody with money and drugs. I just got to run around with big bags of cocaine and like, okay, we're ready to make a movie today. You want to be in this movie? Come on, come here, celebrity from the 80s. You want this? Come on. Okay. You got $50? Who's got $50 for this guy? Come on.
You don't just like leave a trail like, you know, how they catch James Woods on Family Guy.
A piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy.
Ooh,
No, you gotta always have it in hand. That's the thing about LA. You can't leave it to choice because some other filmmaker will just use your trail and then start to make a line to their own bad movie. So,
what was the budget on this? Like your original idea, and then where did it come in?
So this movie was a lot more than I thought it was going to be. It started out, it was around $2, and then we ended up around $3.50. $3.50. I know, broke the bank. So
that's still not bad.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand sense of movies, you know, I do a lot of crazy stuff on the cheap comparatively. I mean, you look at a Marvel movie, they spend 50 million, 100 million, and I'm still under $1 million. So, and what's crazy about that is that I have the same distributor as King Kong versus Godzilla. So I'm making a $3 movie that's in the same spot next to Godzilla in Walmart. So it's pretty crazy when you think about it that way.
That is cool. And unlike Marvel, dude, you do the 3 Bs.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the 3 Bs.
Marvel,
dude,
you get one if you're lucky.
And then I add a beef balsamo, so it's the 4 Bs.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. Speaking of that, you like you said, you like yourself on the poster or whatever. But how do you like acting? Because obviously you've done 30 films and you've acted including in this film, you've acted in it. But like you said, you've done like hundreds of films. Otherwise, that just as an actor, how do you like acting? You must like it a real lot, right?
I love it. I mean, I've been acting since I was a little kid. But I always feel guilty if I'm only talent on a film now. I'm like, can I help you move a light? Can I, do something productive? And being talent, it's like, no, just sit there until we ask you to read these lines, monkey. So it's a whole different animal.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it must feel weird, switching back and forth between wearing a whole bunch of different hats to, just. Okay, I'll sit here and as the monkey, I'll take the picture. Like
exactly. Yeah, it is weird. It's like relaxing, and it's also kind of torturous because being a creative, it's like, oh, I want to play with these guys. You know what I mean? I like to watch the monitor if I'm not acting, and then it's like, who are you? It's like, oh, I'm not the producer on this movie. I guess I'll go sit over there. So.
Now, for this film here, you actually used as a theme a political election. Where did you get that idea to bring in I guess it is a contest. So a contest and have that as the theme, and then have the double monsters. Was that all like a metaphor for anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think politicians are the monsters, so it's all. You get it. You know what I mean? It's all pretty black and white. I like to leave the messages in the movies. You know what I mean? I never like to stand on a soapbox. I just say, there is a message in this weird amalgamation of silly monsters. And so if you get it, good. If you don't, I don't want to talk about it.
Well, speaking of messages, I have a message for everybody. It Wants Blood is out on VOD right now, and physical media is going to be coming to a store near you. If you check the links up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us, you'll find all the links right there, and the Vimeo link where you can just click and it's give it a rent or buy it. And here's the trailer.
I've called you here today to hear a story.
You must give up something you love.
Oh. That's why we're here today. To feed and praise our God. This is my God. This is your hell.
It is not once more. It was blood.
There we go. Out on VOD right now. So the look and feel of this movie it seems different from the last one that I saw. Did you change cameras? Did you change the guy that handles your lighting? What's different?
Yeah, everything's different. So this movie was filmed in 8K. So like I said, it was meant to be a theatrical release. So sadly, it's been compressed on Vimeo and DVD and Blu-ray. It'll look nice, but it was meant for theaters. So hopefully, when things start normalizing again, we'll take it around the world.
Well, it looked great on Vimeo when I watched it. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's amazing. The difference in 4K to 8K. You get a lot of crisp colors and with a little bit of lighting, it's beautiful.
Nice. I was just going to ask, what camera did you use?
It was the Red Dragon. So we actually used 3 different cameras on it. Some of the B-roll stuff we shot in 5K. Just digging into my brain. I had 3 different directors of photography on it. So go to IMDb, look at the directors of photography because their names are complicated.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that shooting it in such a high contrast or high definition would really lend itself well to all the contrasting colors that you get to see, especially on the creature designs.
Yeah, it works well. It's nice and it looks beautiful. I really want to shoot something on film. You know what I mean? I'd like to shoot something. Gary Sherman talked me out of filming on 16 millimeter. Gary Sherman directed Poltergeist 3 and a number of other movies. We became friends over the past year, and I've been saying I want to do this movie on 16 millimeter, and he was like, why? I was like, I want to do it on short ends and overexposed film, and he talked me out of it. He said, James, don't do that. Shoot it on 35, and then you could color correct it to whatever you want it to look like. If you want that scratched look or overexposed, you could add that in post, but you should shoot it as clean as you possibly can. And so I kind of took that and used that for It Wants Blood, and we kind of shot it as clean as we could.
Now, you said, it's going to probably make it into Walmart and whatever. Are you going to try to see if it can become a Blu-ray too?
Yeah, so this will be my first Blu-ray release. And
All
so,
right.
It will be released this summer. I don't know what it is exactly yet from my distributor, but it will be on Blu-ray and DVD. Keep up to date at acidbathproductions.com. I've got hot sauce, T-shirts, action figures.
You got hot sauce now.
Yeah.
I have to say, I do like the opening logo, the acid bath animated.
It's
oh yeah, thanks. That was hand drawn by Brittany Magone. It's all cell art. It was made in a time before Flash. So.
Yeah, the good old days. Yeah. Speaking of seeing you at conventions when you used to do them and stuff, for what was it? What was it like for $10? I got a T-shirt, a disc, and an autograph photo from you. That was a steal. So
yeah.
So you're good to the fans when you go to the conventions, and if people can find you, that would be great. Are you now that COVID is well, I don't know how it is in California, but is there any conventions that people can go to that you may be appearing at that you have already booked and that they may be able to get to see you and get that $10 deal?
I haven't booked anything yet, but I might go to Mad Monster Party in Arizona. Mad Monster Party is one of my favorite conventions, and I've done that one over the years, so I might be there. We'll see.
Nice. Yeah, up here, I don't think we have. I know the Token Dead guys are going to be in, I think, Virginia. I think it's next month, but nothing really up this way.
Yeah, there's an anime or something, a comic book convention up in Portland, Maine, but that's like end of this month, and that's it until November, I think. Yeah,
I'm sure they'll be rushing back soon. You know.
Yeah, right.
I know Rhode Island opened its dates. That's going to be a crazy one.
Yeah, I think that's going to be insanity.
What's open dates mean? What's that mean?
No, I mean it's they've announced that they're going to have their convention again this year.
Yeah, the one in November, I think it is. Or?
Yep.
Yeah, because they canceled the other one that they were doing.
Yeah,
which was supposed to be, I think, this month. Yeah,
it was supposed to be this June.
Yeah.
I forget.
So James, you mentioned you have done 30 films, and you've directed. I mean, and starred, or not starred, but had roles in other films by other directors. Out of some of the films, besides this great one here, what other ones do you want to recommend for people to start? You know, obviously they should start with this one here, but especially because of the wrestling scene. But besides that, what other films where they want to see James Balsamo and his work? Whether in front of or behind the camera. What do you got?
Well, definitely The Rideshare Killer, which is a new movie that's coming out soon. That's got Eric Robertson. Tuesday night is in that. Tuesday is also in It Wants Blood. And like you said earlier, Brad Twigg's MILFs versus Zombies. That's a really fun one. So.
All right, people should check those out. Yeah. I know you can find MILFs versus Zombies wherever DVDs are found. You can rent it, buy it, or you could VOD it somewhere too.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of VOD, so I know you do a lot of your stuff on Vimeo. Are you using any other services?
I believe some of my films are on demand. If you go to cable and if you go to Amazon and you just type in James Balsamo, you'll see a whole bunch of movies that I was in, documentaries and other fun horror movies that you could rent or buy. So just Google me. I'm very famous.
Is there a film that you've wanted to make, that you've had, kind of kicking around in your back pocket for a while that, for one reason or another just hasn't happened yet? Or
yeah, so I'm actually finishing that movie now. Wolfie brought it up earlier. I've been talking about doing a werewolf movie for years, and now I'm doing one. It's called Hollywood Werewolf with Andy Dick. Andy Dick plays a cocaine-fueled werewolf that's gone on a killing spree to kill all the people that said he would never make it in Hollywood. It's a real howl.
It's
Hollywood
a documentary.
Yeah, so hopefully that'll be out in October. I'm just wrapping that up now. So after we finish Alien Danger 2 with Doug Bradley, a.k.a. Pinhead from Hellraiser, the series, how crazy is that? We'll be finishing this Andy Dick werewolf movie.
Nice. And so when should we see either of those?
Well, hopefully Alien Danger, the first one, will come out this summer, and then we're looking for the sequel to come out in October. And then also Killer Waves 2 will come out this summer with Marky Ramone from the Ramones. So that's a surf slasher sequel. And so I've got a whole bunch of movies that I'm working on. And then I'm also doing 14 Ghosts, which has James Lorenz from Frankenhooker, Carrie Muse, who does the voice of Frylock from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and Simon Bamford, who is Butterball from Hellraiser, is also in that. So I got a whole bunch of fun stuff coming out in the next few months. But first, It Wants Blood. And like I said, you could watch it on Vimeo now. And then you could get it on DVD and Blu-ray this summer. I didn't blow it, right? I didn't blow it.
I will say that cocaine fueled werewolf. There's, I don't think there's anybody better to cast in that than Andy Dick.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Like maybe Chris Farley, but
yeah.
But yeah, that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting, especially with the level of gore effects you put in your films.
Oh, thanks.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Bloody one.
Now, obviously, Eric Roberts and various other famous folk that you have in your films, but you have a large cast of other actors and actresses that aren't necessarily as well known. Do you have a whole group of people here in LA where you are now that you use for your films the past 4 years, or do you go back to New York and use the ones that you had there, or what do you do?
It's a mix. Some of the people I know from New York came out to LA like right before me or right after me, and then I found a whole bunch of cool new actors out in Los Angeles, like Ken May, who is the nudist in the opening of It Wants Blood. He's in a lot of my films, and he plays most of the extra aliens. So, there's a whole bunch of cool, like I said, G. Larry Butler, who plays that priest that's freaking out. And there's a whole bunch of other cool LA cats that I've been using. So
you also had some local people to us, Matt Fisher and Alexander Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those guys are great. Boombastic.
Yep.
Film. Yeah, fun guys. We were actually talking about doing a movie together. We had a meeting a few weeks ago. Alex was in town, and so we might do something a little down the line. So it's on the burner.
I hope you do.
Yeah, me too. I like those guys. I've known them for a long time. I went out to Boston and did Groundhog, which is a fun slasher film. Billy Coyne did my makeup on that. I get my jaw ripped off in that. And that was directed by David Maggott and produced by Matt. So fun movie.
Yeah, Billy's awesome.
Yeah, Billy's a cool guy.
Nice. Now, how do you get to know all these other directors and stuff? Was it through the conventions circuit, or were you able to like some sort of group that you joined and then you get ideas from them? Well, how does that work?
No, it's interesting. The internet really ties everybody together. You know what I mean? I've had people reach out to me after meeting somebody through a convention, or they know a friend that wants to be in a movie and a family member died and they have a treasure chest of nickels. And they're like, please put me in a movie, James. I'll give you 7 of these nickels. And what can I say? I'm a slave to the cage of nickels. Nickels caged.
Do you ever give the nickel back?
Oh, never give the nickel back.
I just got to make sure.
So speaking of Nicolas Cage, I know that's a golden catch for Patsy for us to get on your show. Any chance that you'd get him as a cameo?
We were talking about it. He's got like a phone number on IMDb Pro. I've called it. It was disconnected. So let's hope the trail leads back to the nickeled caged person.
Yeah, and Leo, the heck with the cameo. Get him to star in your film, James.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, come on.
So it
Leo.
won't be Mandy. It'll be Randy, and then he's very Randy.
I knew you were going to say that.
Clubs.
You could be special guest referee in the wrestling.
That's my elevator pitch for the
Randy.
I know this is totally off topic, but what did you think of his last movie? What was the name of it?
Oh, Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland.
I liked it. I watched it with my girlfriend and my stepdaughter, and we liked it. It's fun. Have you seen the new Fang video? They've got like a Willy's Wonderland inspired music video. It's pretty cool.
I have not seen that yet.
Nice. I'll have to check that out on YouTube.
Yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
So if you were going to give for an aspiring filmmaker, if you were to give them 1 or 2 pieces of advice starting out, what would it be?
Just go with the flow. I mean, filmmaking, you never make the film that you set out to make. It has moments of being better and it has moments of being worse, but you have to surrender that if you want to make it, you will make it. It just won't be exactly the way you want it. I mean, continuity errors and problems in cinema happen across the board for multi-million-dollar budgeted films. Did you know in Titanic, when Leo gets a note with a piece of paper on it, the piece of paper changes color? Something so simple as that in a multi-million-dollar movie shouldn't ruin the feel of the movie. So if you're doing it on an indie level, or if it's your first film, don't sweat it. Just go with the flow. Enjoy the process. You know what I mean? It is a long, arduous road to finish a movie, but you could do it. I mean, look at me. I've done it 30 times.
Nice, nice. Now, I had a question, more of levity, but are you telling me that the wrestling match was filmed in 8K?
It was. Oh, yes. It's very high.
Everything comes back to the wrestling match for Phil.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. A lot of the people that will see this film, that's what they're going to tell everybody about.
So, does that mean you're going to buy like a 8K player, Phil, so that you can watch it in 8K?
I don't think
Phil's
they
gonna
exist
project
yet.
this outside. Gonna have a movie night.
I know we are running close on time. James, was there anything else you wanted to make sure we touched on before we wrap things up?
Let's talk about how great it is that I got Doug Bradley to voice a space bug. I mean, he's effing Pinhead, and now he's in this silly kid sci-fi movie thanks to me and my genius. So let's just give me some credit for bringing Hellraiser into a children's movie and opening children's minds into this dark puzzle box.
Well,
now you can get him the LaMarchand configuration and see what we get out of that.
Yeah. I've got such sights to show you. Let me tell you.
One last thing I wanted to ask. A while back you did. It was a book on puns, right?
Yeah, it's still available at Barnes & Noble and wherever books are sold.
And are you going to do a follow-up book to that? I know you've been busy making movies.
I wrote two. So I wrote Total Punishment, and then I wrote Puns of Peril, which has another 100 bad jokes in it. So I've got hundreds of them.
Okay. And so Barnes & Noble, they're available on your website as well?
They are. You know why snails don't get jokes?
Why?
Because they're a little slow.
Oh.
I told that to the shell of it.
Oh, hey, speaking of your website, if people bought those books or your DVDs or Blu-rays off of your website, will they get your autograph on those?
Yeah,
things?
yeah, I could sign whatever you want. Send me, expired fruit. As long as you pay for the postage, I'll sign it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Cool beans. Okay, well, we will wrap things up here. I want to thank everybody for watching. Definitely check out It Wants Blood. Link is in the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. And, if you love B movies like we do, definitely check out James Balsamo. He does a lot of awesome works. He's made 30 movies, as you heard. And, you can check out his website and, just go and, start introducing yourself to B-movie magic. So, James, where do you like people interacting with you on social media?
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. Add me. I'll be your friend, James Balsamo, or Instagram at James Balsamo, or find me on Twitter at Acid Bath Product. Send me a message. Say, hey, I want to be in a movie, and maybe I'll put you in one.
Ooh. Well,
Leo, it's B-movie madness, not B-movie magic.
Well, it could be the same thing.
Fair enough, but I always go B-movie madness because that's the drive-in feel that you want,
It's all magic, Phil. It's all magic.
That's true. That's true.
So, James, I'm going to put you on the spot. If you come back to Up This Way, you're going to put us in a movie?
Yeah, I think you're in Bite School. We're doing the sequel. You got to come back. Be in Bite School too.
Okay, there we go.
Us till Bong.
Sounds like Leo's weekend.
It's a date, my friend. It's a date.
All right.
So, Phil, where do you like people interacting with you?
Folks can find me on Facebook. Also, even though I don't go on it as much as I used to. But our Dark Discussions podcast Facebook group, and then the website darkdiscussions.com, where they can find daily updates and news items about films and whatnot, as well as around 20 to 30 different podcasts, including the flagship podcast, Dark Discussions Podcast.
Cool beans. Pate.
You can find me every Thursday on Throwdown Thursday podcast. You can find me weekly on the Loudest Sports Show. Usually that comes out on Fridays, but it depends on what's going on. You know, we might delay a day or two to make sure we can get you some updated news and sports and information. You can also find me here every Monday, and you can find me soon on the other side of midnight. We just wrapped 2 more episodes yesterday. And you'll be able to find us on the Pivot streaming app. Very excited for you guys to see some of this stuff. We rehearsed something over the weekend, and it was the funniest goddamn thing, like to the point where my wife was crying and needed her inhaler. So I pride myself that you're going to enjoy that scene in the show.
Awesome. Can't wait to see it. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But more importantly, follow these awesome people. Check out It Wants Blood. Links in the show notes. You just got to go down there and click. And you got the links for James, so you can check out his other works as well. For me, I run the Dorkening Podcast Network. A lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff. Over 30 shows on the network. And with that, you guys have an awesome night. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you, folks.